Okay, so Andy Mineo announced this week that he is officially leaving Reach Records to pursue minor league full time. What does this mean for CHH? What does this mean for Reach Records? We're going to talk about all of that right now.
Let's get the people what they want. The Wade O Radio Show.
Okay, family. So Andy Mineo makes this announcement, and in true Andy form, it's not like a direct announcement. Andy's not going to send out a press release and say, this is what I'm going to do. He's going to take some artistic liberty with this, man. And so, obviously, yesterday he released a new song, but before that, he had put out a couple of videos that just kind of showed, hey, I'm coming back. I'm in this new space. And guess what? I am indie now. So let's take a look at this. So we see he threw this video out last week, and he says, I've officially turned over the hard drive. I'm back out here. I'm back out here doing music. And, Andy is great at making the music, but he's also great with these rollouts. And so, man, he literally popped back out. In the area of popping out, he literally popped back out. And, obviously he had a lot of people that help him. You don't put together creative stuff like this and it's just you in a vacuum. You know what I mean? There's the power of collaboration. And he has a lot of support from the community. You see Trip Lee in here. You see Marty Marr in here. You see our brother R. Swift in here. Ray Rock, his former DJ, in here. Ruslan's in here. Everybody's showing him love because he's been such a powerful voice in this community. And then yesterday, he drops this. How do you pop back out after 3 years without dropping new music? Well, I tell you what I'd love to pop out. Everybody wants a big budget, and he goes through all the things, and he's just like, hey, I don't have that. I'm independent now. And so, man, I think the cool thing is to just see the support from so many people in the community and that kind of piece. So let's chat about this a little bit, because I think for a lot of people, we've pretty much known Andy most of the time, most of his career being with Reach Records. So we're like, man, what does this look like? Right. And it was the same thing when KB left a couple years ago, before that show Baraka, and I think the key is this, right? When you look at Andy's full career, he was always trying to do the indie thing. So before he was signed with Reach Records, he had a manager named David Ham, who's now a pastor in New York City. And, he was putting out these Send His Whack mixtapes, and, that was really buzzing in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area. I was living out there at the time, and he was definitely buzzing with that. And then he does the anthem for God Belongs in My City called In My City, which was huge. And that kind of put him on a national platform, and people started taking note of him even outside of the city. Then comes Background. His partner, his homie, Alex Medina, produces that for Lecrae. Andy writes the hook, performs the hook. They shoot a video in Times Square. That thing goes crazy. And that's when there's real conversation about signing with Reach Records. And I remember around that time, it wasn't like a slam dunk, like, man, I'm definitely doing this, because I think there was a part of him that always wanted the creative freedom, the ability to control his destiny, to own his music and all of that stuff. But it's just like, man, when you get that kind of opportunity that they gave him, man, you take that. And I think that has taken his career to a whole other level. And even musically, just what that has meant and what that has looked like for him. And so I think for us as fans, a lot of us are looking at this as the end of an era. Because if you think about the progression of Reach Records, you kind of start out, it's Lecrae, it's Trip Lee, it's Tadashi, it's Sho Baraka. I like to call that like the Core 4 era. And then the next wave, you had kind of this Young and Unashamed. You had KB, you had Andy Mineo, Derek Minor was with them for a couple of albums, you know what I mean? And so, they're doing the Unashamed tour, just like 6-7 artists on this thing. And it's just big. And Andy continues to ascend as being one of their flagship artists. Then you get that next era that has, Aha Gazelle for a little bit, 1K Few, What Up RG, Gavi, you know what I mean? He signs as an artist during this season. And then now obviously you have the current crop of younger artists they have with Halvey, Anike, Lemo Blaze, international star. They just signed Jackie Hill Perry. And so when I look at this from Andy's perspective, I'm like, man, this is something this dude always wanted to do, was run his own label. And that's why he kind of started minor league before that. But even prior to that piece of it, that was just his goal. That's what he was aiming for. And so now he has that opportunity, man. And I'm happy for him. Like, just as a brother, like, I'm happy for him. Like, most artists, you want that creative freedom. Like, you want that ability to be able to create the kind of art that you want to create and to own your masters and all these different things. Like, that's a goal of every artist, big or small. And sometimes you have the leverage to do it, sometimes you don't. But it's a beautiful thing. And it's not a knock on Reach Records or any record label, because I don't know if Andy becomes what he became career-wise if it's not for Reach Records. That's for him to talk about. But, just from someone who's been a part of this community and covered the genre for a long time, listen, man, like, that was a marriage that both of them strongly benefited from. You know what I mean? And so, when we look at this from Reach Records standpoint, obviously, when you lose someone like Andy Mineo, that's going to have an effect. But come on, man. Like, Reach Records is is like an embarrassment of riches, man. Like, they have they have so many artists that hit so many different segments and targets and all these different things. And so I think that in and of itself, means something. And so when you look at what Harvey's doing now, he's getting ready to go on a 25 city tour that he's headlining. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? You look at Anike, the music she's putting out, What Up RG, the people that he hits, 1K Fuel, you know what I mean? You still got Trippin', Tadashi, of course, Lecrae, Lemo Blaze, international star. And I'm really waiting on this Jackie Hill Perry project, because, I know what she was doing before, but I think now, having Reach behind her and her platform being as large as it is, she's going to take this thing to some different levels, man. So, when I think about this from an overall Christian rap standpoint, I think it's always beautiful when we have multiple labels, multiple crews, multiple people in leadership positions in the community. And I think this is a healthy step in that direction. You know what I mean? And so I'm excited about the future of minor league. I'm excited, about Wordplay. I'm figuring he's going to be putting some more music out, man. I think he always had a very unique perspective in his music that came out. And so I think this is just going to be good for the genre, man. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. So here we are in grand form, creative form. Andy Mineo is back. Minor league is a thing. And let's see where the future holds.